Hi, I'm back again with another video. Now I wanted to show you this blanket that I've started. I'm using the Bernat Baby Marley. It's really pretty. I don't know if you can see this. It's just little flecks of white, grey and mint. And it's called Robin's Nest. Anyway, I've been practicing starting the blanket by doing it a new way. Instead of just doing a foundation stitch and then doing your double or trebles, I've been doing it all in one. This has just been done all in one. This is one row, and so I wanted to show you how I did that. It's really fun. It's a bit slower because you're not whizzing along, but you get a lot more done. So in US they call this a double crochet chainless foundation, and so UK it's a treble chainless foundation because these are your trebles. And so I'm just going to show you at the moment now that when you're holding your work and you're going to be making your next stitch, you ignore these two here, these two stitches. You ignore these two stitches and you actually work back into this chain that's right here, this bottom chain that you've made. So I'll show you that as we go along, but it's easier to show you now at the moment. Did I get that in a good shot? But anyway, we'll see how it goes. So this baby Bernat that I'm using is a very light chocolate brown and white, and this is called Beach Day, and it's really pretty. So we'll get started. So I suppose you all know how to do a slip knot. So you go over your finger once, over your finger twice, bring the second one forward, then grab the back one and bring it right over your finger. Shall I do that again? Took me ages to learn one of these. So take your little end, put it over your finger, make sure you're up a bit to give yourself room. Go over your finger again, bring the back one forwards, grab the new back one and bring it right over your finger, and there's your slip knot. Right, so let's get started, and I'm using a really big hook and a really big thread so that you can see where I'm going. So it's a little bit awkward to start with. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then yarn over and go right back to your very first stitch and go into there, but when you go in, make sure you pick up 2 loops so that you have 4 on your hook. Yarn over, pull through off the first 2 that you just put on there, so you end up with 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and go through 1, yarn over, go through 2. So it's a bit awkward with this big wool if it looks like I'm struggling. Yarn over again and go through the last 2. Just a little piece here that didn't go through. Right, so we're going to do that again. Yarn over, and then like I was trying to show you before, hold it like this and you'll see 2 loops here, Then you'll see another 2 loops. Ignore those and go into this first chain right down here that you made, and make sure you pick up the 2 loops. So ignore those 2, ignore those 2, and with your yarn over go right into that chain at the bottom, but make sure you pick up 2 loops. And it's so easy to pick up that extra one. So you end up with 4 on your hook. Yarn over, pull it through those 2 that you just picked up. Yarn over, go through 1. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. When you're using your hook, it's really important that when you do that yarn over and take off 1, it's really important to get them right up so that you're not working just in this little space, so that then the chains are too tight. So this is not the best one to really use because it's got a handle and I can't get any further. But I've lent out my other number 9 hook, so we're just doing the best we can. So then yarn over again and again, ignore these first 2 here, ignore those 2, but you go into this one and make sure you pick up the other side of it. So miss those 2 and miss these 2 and go into there and make sure you pick up the back one. You've got 4. Yarn over, take off the 2 that you just picked up. Yarn over and take off 1, and as you can see I'm pushing it right up so I make sure that they're quite big. So yarn over, take off 1. Yarn over, take off 2. Yarn over, take off the last 2. So this is what you're starting to look like, is here, and here's your chains along the bottom and your trebles along the top. So we'll do that again. Yarn over, ignore the V, the 2 loops here, and ignore these next 2 down under here. You want to go into this one here, but make sure you catch the back of it. It's quite tricky at first. I did it wrong about 3 times. So ignore those 2, ignore these 2 here, but this one it's going straight up and down. While you're holding your work up like this, don't hold it sideways. When you're holding it like this, not these 2, not these 2, but this one it's going straight up and down. That's your foundation chain. Go into there and catch the back of it. And I just have to make sure I don't get an extra loop. So yarn over and pull through those 2 that you've just picked up. Yarn over and take off 1. Now that one that you're taking off is actually your foundation chain. Then yarn over and take off 2. And as you're taking off these sets of 2, this is actually your treble. So yarn over and take off 2. So once you've done it a few times and carried on, you'll actually understand what I'm trying to show you. So hopefully this is coming clear. So to keep going, yarn over, hold it up and down like this, ignore these 2 here, ignore these 2 here, but this one here that's going up and down will go into there, and make sure that you catch the back of it. So you want to make sure you're picking up 2 loops, and it looks really awkward because I'm using a really big hook, so you can actually really see. Yarn over, take off those 2 that you just picked up. Yarn over, take off 1, which makes your chains. Yarn over again and take off 2, and this is making your treble. Yarn over and take off 2. So when you hold it for your blanket, and it's lovely and stretchy. I'll keep going. Yarn over, ignore those two, ignore these two, and you want this one that's going up and down. Go in there, pick up that one, but make sure you're picking up the back of the loop. And sometimes I do struggle to find it, especially with this big hook. Have a look underneath. Underneath here's your chains, so I want those two. Right, sometimes you have to do a little bit of fiddling. So you've got 4, yarn over, take off the 2 that you picked up, the chains underneath, yarn over, take off 1, which makes your new chain, yarn over and take off 2, which is your trebles, and yarn over and take off the last 2, that's your trebles. So when you turn it upside down, here's your chains been made. So when you're ignoring these 2 and ignoring these 2 and you're going into this up, when it's straight up and down, if you turn it over, you can see it's actually the chain on the bottom. So you're working into that first chain, and you can see these 2 are together, but these 2 just not quite together, but that's where you're picking it up, that chain down here. So that chain down here, you've ignored these 2 sets here. So is that making sense? And isn't it pretty? Isn't it really nice? And there's another video I want to do for you, because once I've finished making this as wide as I want a blanket, I will then chain 4 and you'll just work normally into the top just like you normally do. But I want to show you how you can actually crochet 2 rows at the same time. So that makes you work really fast. So I'm just going to do a few more of these for you just in case you haven't quite got it. Yarn over, ignore those 2 and those 2, and we go into that one that's up and down, that's the chain. Make sure you're picking up both loops. Yarn over and take it back off again. Yarn over and take off 1. Yarn over, take off 2. Yarn over, take off 2. So I'll do that once more. Yarn over, ignore those 2 and ignore these 2 and the one that's going straight up and down, which is underneath with all the chains. There it is there, and you want to pick up this one under here. And once you get better at it, it's easier when you've got a smaller hook, I think. Just so there it goes. I've got the 2 extra, so you've got 4 on your hook. So yarn over and take off those ones you've just picked up. Yarn over and take off 1, which makes your next chain. Yarn over and take off 2. And yarn over and take off 2, and that makes your trebles. So I hope that makes sense, and isn't it really pretty? And it's, well, it's fast once you get going and you get used to it. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've learnt something new. I'm really enjoying it. So now I've got 2 blankets I can make up. So that's really lovely. So I hope you're having a really good week, and I'll get on to that other video as soon as I can about how you can work 2 rows at the same time and make it really fast. Okay, bye.